Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Priya Hassan, and today we'll be talking about a very interesting object today, which is called Betelgeuse. I'm sure all of you all know how to identify Betelgeuse, and let's look at it. So if you actually know the constellation Orion, typically in the winter skies, you can see it. The belt of Orion is very easy to identify. That's the belt. And here you have Betelgeuse at the right shoulder. And here you have Rigel. Betelgeuse is a reddish star, and diagonally opposite you'll have a blue star called Rigel, and hence it becomes very easy to identify. That's the red star, Betelgeuse. Now, Betelgeuse is a huge star. You can actually see, if you see the size of the Earth's orbit, which is 150 million kilometers, the size of the star is way beyond that. It's more even than the size of Jupiter's orbit. It's that big. It's a huge star, and it is called a red supergiant. It's a red supergiant. It is a star which actually is of that size. So here itself you can see how Betelgeuse is larger than the size of Jupiter, the orbit of Jupiter. Not Jupiter, but the orbit of Jupiter. So let's sum up some details about Betelgeuse. It's a red supergiant star. It has a mass of about 17 to 19 times the sun's mass and a radius of about 900 times the solar radius. It's about 10 million years old and a distance of 700 light years. Okay, surface temperature is about 3000 Kelvin. And you can see that this is a star where the nuclear fusion, which is from hydrogen to helium, has already been completed. That takes about 10 million years. And now it's on the future process. So helium to carbon takes about 500,000 years. Carbon to neon is 600 years. Neon to oxygen is 1 year. Oxygen to silicon, 6 months. Silicon to iron, 1 day. So you see, once you finish carbon burning, then the period is really, really very fast. Okay. Then you are exponentially kind of decreasing in the period you need to complete all the nuclear fusions. So it is expected that if you add this and this, approximately Betelgeuse will go supernova in 100,000 years. That's the expectation. And it'll be as bright as the full moon when it does go supernova. But it's too far away to hurt us, it won this thing. Now, in the past few years, Betelgeuse has been in the news basically because a strange thing started happening. In October 2019 till about 2020, Feb, suddenly the star started becoming very faint. Okay, it went about 3 times fainter from its original brightness. Okay, so this is magnitude scales which is used in astronomy, from magnitude 0.5 to about 1.7. Basically, it means a 3-fold decrease in brightness. Now, this was, people thought, oh, this is a lot of excitement. This basically means that now Betelgeuse is ready to go supernova, right? And people thought that's what's going to happen. But then with further studies, it was found that in principle, this appeared to be basically a large Marge ejection which took place from the surface of Betelgeuse, which later led to this huge dust cloud, okay, which released dust grains. And then if you looked at it, view from the Earth, this is towards the Earth, and from the Earth, this dust cloud kind of came on the surface of Betelgeuse, covered a good chunk of it, and that's exactly what caused the fainting, right? So it had got nothing to do with the supernova event, but with this huge dust cloud which actually came in. Now, Betelgeuse is still an interesting object. People continued observing it. It has a variability. It's a variable star, basically because red supergiants are basically pulsating stars. They contract and expand constantly, and you have this kind of a variability, okay? So when it is in a smaller stage, it is about the size of the orbit of Mars. It's hotter. And then when it expands, it goes beyond the orbit of Jupiter. It becomes slightly colder. So here you can see the plot of about 2017 to 2025, the kind of variability you see. And there are typically 2 periods which you see. One is a 400-day period, which you can see, and which is about like 6 years. And then you have a larger period, which is about 2,200 days, okay, a larger period. Now, based on archival data, the question was which one is the primary period. If 2,200 is the primary period, then that implied that the star is much larger. And then in that case, it's almost in the end of its carbon burning phase. That means it's going to go supernova very, very soon. And that's what people actually thought. But the other thing was that if it is the other way, in the sense 400 days is the pulsating day, then the larger this thing, we had independent studies which basically said that this implies that it has a companion, okay? Now, the biggest test for this is to actually observe the companion. Now, Betelgeuse is one star other than the star in which we can actually resolve and see its surface using telescopes, basically because it's so huge and it's so close by. Then we can see it. So on just last month, on 21st July 2025, The existence of this companion was confirmed with direct imaging. They actually imaged it using the Gemini North telescope, which is an 8.1 meter telescope, using the instrument called the Yalobke, which basically means a fox, and they actually identified and observed this thing. Now, the interesting thing here, we have a little write-up on how this thing was observed, and we observed it, and this is a 1.5 sigma detection, okay? Generally in science, we need a 5 sigma detection to be considered valid, but because it's in very good agreement with the predictions, people do, like to believe it. But obviously, we are waiting for the further test which will happen. That is in 2027, in November 2027. Again, these two stars will be on the longest elongation, and that's when we hope that we can observe them once again and get a higher sigma detection of this thing using bigger, better, and even the same telescope, but with more specialized techniques to actually observe it. So we actually look forward to that, and Betelgeuse is still going to be definitely a very interesting object. It's also very interesting to know that are there many binaries waiting to be observed, because we still know a lot of other red supergiants like Arcturus and Antares, which are also showing periods of that kind. And the question is, are these also hosting a binary due to which this is happening? That's something interesting to study. But first of all, we'll wait for 2027 when we can confirm the existence of this thing. So let's look forward to that. Thank you.